Hello, and welcome to episode 4 of Bardic Quest Presents Tyranny of Dragons, Defiance in Phlan. In this episode, our heroes are enjoying a fine evening meal when they are suddenly approached by a half-orc seeking their help in finding a powerful magic item. So, without further ado, let's get into a shock at Evenfeast. The Tea Kettle is crowded this evening, as Evenfeast meal has brought many hungry patrons. A young halfling woman called Blazette, who is obviously another of one of Madame Friona's daughters, wears a blue handkerchief and acts as your server for the meal. She manages to keep a smile despite the busy night. What are you doing or saying to each other at this particular moment?
I need to know what's in this even feast.
It's mostly roast meats and potatoes. You know, it's a proper hearty meal. Not just bickies on the, or no bickies at all for that matter, because that doesn't really go with the roast. But no bickies. This is a hearty roast meal. Yeah,
so Fellin would be sort of double fisting the roast, you know, and eating as quick as he can, and just talking through it. Just going, "Oh, this is absolutely wonderful. I'm going to do this every week."
Just kind of like holding more like turkey legs, ready to like reload his hands. It's empty. He's there waiting. Just to...
Yeah, Taileth is also like gnawing on a turkey leg, but she's hyper vigilant, keeping an eye on everyone, all the people she probably doesn't know.
Okay. Yeah, there are lots of people here. There are elves, old women, dwarves. There's even a Dragonborn here, a few halflings. Quite busy here this evening. Probably busier than you've seen it for many a day, for sure. And shortly after she's kind of bought your meal and you've started tucking in, she heads off to another table, and then a half-orc kind of pulls up a chair at your table and sits down next to you with a toothy smile, and he says, "Just act normal."
Fluff sort of ruffles his feathers and kind of like does just his eyes go really wide, and then he just sort of lifts his roasted rat up to his beak and just starts to bite along his like,
Okay. Hello?
He kind of gestures you in closer, and he says, "Listen to me very closely. Everyone here, their lives could be in danger." He says,
Because you're going to do something?
My eyes dart around looking for obvious danger.
which you don't see really any sign of any obvious danger. There's just people sat enjoying drinks, enjoying meals. And he says, "No, I'm not about to do anything. My name is Burrell Carr. I represent the Emerald Enclave. We're a group that watches the happenings here in Phlan and the wilderness beyond. Now, I've just been told something by an associate of mine that apparently there is a potentially devastating magical object brought into this here tea kettle. Now, we don't know what it looks like or who has it, but I'm going to need your help finding it."
Fluff picks up a spoon and just looks at it really hard.
Anything you say?
Well, I mean, I guess so, yes. We don't know what it looks like or who has it, as I say. So, I mean, I don't think it would be a spoon, but we can't leave any stone unturned.
Spoon unturned.
Yeah, spoon unturned, yeah. He says, "Could you..." And he kind of looks around. He says, act normal, act normal. And he says,
Trying to be nonchalant.
he says, "I'm going to need you to try and split up and talk to anyone who you think looks suspicious."
And then say what?
Well, I don't know, but you need to find out if they are in possession of this powerful item.
What's the item called again?
Well, I don't know. This is the problem. We don't know what it looks like. We don't know who's got it. We don't know anything about it. All that we know is it's potentially quite dangerous.
So what? Go up to people and go, "Show me what's inside your pockets." That's weird.
Well, not in so many words. Look, it's really important that you don't let on as to what actually you're trying to do, because we don't know who's got it, as I say. We don't know what this thing does. And we don't want to spook anybody that they might set it off, you know? And we certainly don't want them to, know that we know, you know?
Okay. With a first peruse of the crowd, is there anyone who would look particularly out of place or suspicious?
So there are a number of tables that kind of grab your attention. There is a wood elf who is sat alone. There are two old women dining together. There's an older human man and a dwarven woman dining together. A half-elf man dining alone. A pale-scaled dragonborn woman who's also dining alone. And then three brightly dressed halflings kind of dining at the bar, talking quite loudly, but in a language that you don't particularly recognize.
So we should come up with a signal to each other in case, if we split up and start talking to people, in case we think we've found said person.
Should we...
What sort of symbol?
Like a hand gesture or something. Something subtle.
What about...
Like
That's subtle. It has to be subtle. How about a wink?
Okay.
Fluff goes,
Will do. I bet you can pull it off because you're cute. Yeah.
Yeah.
So
if we find someone that's suspicious, we'll stand next to them and then we'll wink at them. You.
No,
You.
like
You.
wink at us two.
Right, that makes more sense.
Mm-hmm.
You watch as Burrell just kind of gives you a nod and slips away, and he goes and starts talking to Blazette, the young halfling girl that was serving you, trying to look as inconspicuous as he can.
Very good.
So we have to go and talks to people.
Yeah.
Okay.
Okay.
Just chit chat.
Chit chat.
Cheat chat.
Yeah.
Right.
Do you know
That
there's a
is
small bird in the woods where I grew up that it has a call that sounds exactly like chit chat. Chit chat. Yeah.
I know it's a similar. Yeah, it's similar sounds. Like the music of the forest. Oh yeah, I look around to see of these folk. which seems like that they would be the least willing to talk to somebody that looks like him. Did you say there's an elf? Did you say?
So there's a wood elf dining
Wood
alone. There is a half elf as well. A half elf man dining alone.
Okay, I wipe the gravy off my face and chug glasses of and go, "Oh, no use beating round bush, right?"
Fluff puts
I'll walk over to the table one.
Fluff puts a wing on your arm just before you go and says, "You've got this, Fellin." And his hand glows. And a little, not like a tattoo or anything, but like a very, 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 very subtle, like almost kind of like a silver henna sort of level, like a tiny little star appears on Fellin's arm as I cast guidance on you.
Nice.
They're lovely, thank you. Yes, I feel a bit of Dutch courage from the touch courage. From the guy, touch courage.
Nice.
And I wander over. And
this is to the wood elf, is this?
To the wood elf, yes.
Okay.
And as I wander over, what do I see? What sort of vibe am I getting?
Well, certainly what feels very obvious to you, Fellin, is that she's very out of place in a cozy establishment such as this. She's wearing leather armor which is dirty with sweat, grime, and stains of what you would recognize, Fellin, as moving through vegetation. She's got a very fine-looking bow of strange purple-hued wood strung across her back.
Could I see if I recognize the wood?
Yes, could I get a nature check from you, please?
Okay. That's where we go. Okay, that's a 16.
Okay. You do recognize this wood, in fact.
Oh, good.
It is
Wood's my thing.
Indeed. It is a very rare wood called Morkant Burl, which is so rare, in fact, that it only grows within the Quivering Forest, which is just outside of Phlan.
I stand at the table and I trying to find the words to sort of say hello to this. In his mind, just ticking all the boxes for a woman. Leather armor, out in the wilds. His friends get like, oh yeah, and then he sees the bone. He's Morkant Burl, and it's a good wood that.
She's kind of
don't see that much.
Mopping up bits of gravy with bread and just kind of chewing on it. And she doesn't even look at you. She just kind of is enjoying her meal. She's just kind of like, she's definitely acknowledging that you're there without looking at you. She's just kind of like nodding along to what you're saying. Kind of.
Oh yeah, I enjoy a bit of wood carving and stuff myself. I never got a chance to work with Morkant Burl. Perhaps I need to head over to the Quivering Forest at some point. And myself, that where from you be?
She takes a swig of a tankard of ale. Again, still not looking at you, but just nodding.
Well, nice. I see you took the scenic route. Much prefer that myself too.
This time she just kind of like look at you out the side of her eyes, and just carries on.
He sort of tries an awkward smile, like, what? He's getting a bit sweaty. He's like, what brings you to Phlan? Seems you stand out about as much as I do here. No, not in a bad way. It's good to see someone of the wilds.
She takes another sip of her drink. And then she looks at you and she says, I'm on leave.
Like on holiday?
She nods again.
Oh, and you the Phlan's your idea of a holiday? I mean, I enjoy it here. It's very nice, and this is a good establishment here. Everyone seems real friendly, and the food's good, isn't it? Very nice.
She says, yes, very nice. She says, it's a good holiday here when you've been out in the forest for 2 weeks.
Oh, and what were you out doing in the forest? I haven't got out there myself for too long, really. A few weeks.
She just says, patrolling.
No. Is there the danger that we should be knowing about?
Always.
Well, yeah, of course. I mean, like, is anything specific, or just like you just keeping the general lookout?
Yeah, that. General lookout.
Oh right. Well, enjoy your meal, and I walk back over to the table like, oh, that was horrible. Oh, is my face red? It is.
Oh, you're
It
on mute,
is.
Annina.
It is, but you did really well. Really well. That was good chit chat.
It seemed like you were really hitting it off.
Yeah, I think like she's been patrolling the woods and stuff. I forgot to ask her about. I didn't know I would bring up if she had a magic item on her. She got a bow. It's not magic, but it's real pretty.
Well, that's a good start. You know, it's a good start.
It's a really good start.
I need a drink before I do another.
We'll get you a drink.
And just to
sits down and
clarify,
stuff.
we've had a long rest since the last episode, right? Have we?
Sure.
Thank you. I shall do that now.
Yay. No, hang on, no. Don't worry. Ignore me.
Fluff, was there anything you wanted to do?
Well, just looking at who were the other people? He's probably looking for being a sort of exotic species himself. He'd probably be looking to go up to one of the more exotic species, I think.
Well, probably the most exotic here would probably be the pale-scaled Dragonborn woman who's dying alone. She's actually, as she's eating her food, she's looking around quite nervously, you notice. Any kind of sudden noises seem to startle her a little bit.
Fluff appears underneath her elbow and just goes, "Hello."
She goes, "Oh,
Sorry, I didn't mean to scare you.
you startled me."
Mind if I join you?
She kind of looks very anxious at you. And she says, "I have not seen one of your kind before."
Oh, well, I mean, to be honest, neither have I. Unless sometimes when I look in the mirror, then I do see myself, but that's me, so it doesn't really count, I don't think. I've never seen another me before. I'm an owlie. Other people have called me Owlin. I've always thought owlie had a bit more of a ring to it. And what do you call yourself?
I am Hulda.
Fluff, nice to meet you.
Nice to meet you, Fluff.
What brings you to Phlan?
Oh, I am just here meeting family.
Oh. Do they live in Phlan?
Yes.
I'm an orphan.
Oh, I am very sorry to hear this.
Oh no, it's quite fine. I'd like to know where I came from one day, but he's just completely oversharing. Just like, I don't know where I came from one day, but I was actually raised by furbolgs who are really lovely. So, your family, are they also like you?
You could say that there is definitely a family resemblance.
Well, it's good to have strong features. I'm hoping that when I meet my family, that I'll be able to see that they're just sort of like a slightly bigger, more owly version of me. And then I'll just sort of know, you know?
But did you not say you are an orphan?
Yeah, but I think possibly maybe I have... Well, I assume I'm an orphan. I don't really know. I was found, so I don't really know if my birth parents are alive or they're still here or whether they want to see me or like, I have considered the fact that they did, leave my egg elsewhere, on purpose, which would be, understandable, really.
I do not understand this myself.
Well, sometimes when people love each other very much, sometimes they make an egg, and sometimes they have planned for that egg, sometimes they haven't planned for that egg. Family planning is a really key part of anything, and I would understand and respect the fact that maybe they didn't have the resources to look after me at the time, so maybe they just sort of left me in the woods by myself in under a bush. But anyway, so
We're looking for a strange magical item that might destroy the whole town. You have one.
She looks at you really curiously and she says, I'm afraid I do not.
Are you lying to me?
Do you want to give me an insight check?
Straight for the kill. Are you lying?
It's a 16.
She says, no, I am not. But you get the impression that she's not being fully straight with you.
Oh. Are you sure about that? And I cast Charm Person on her.
Ooh. Right, talk me through the specifics of Charm Person. It's been a while.
I wink at her, and so hang on, I just need to pull up Charm Person. Where's my Book of Hands? Consult that it's been a while since I've had a character that used Charm Person.
I'm pretty sure it's just that she believes you to be a friend at this point, but in about an hour's time, she will know that you have charmed her.
Yeah.
Unless she makes a wisdom saving throw, of course.
You attempt to charm a humanoid you can see within range. Must make a whiz save, and does so with advantage if you or your companions are fighting it, which we're not, which is fine.
Okay.
If it fails the saving throw, it is charmed by you until the spell ends, or until you or your companions do anything harmful to it. The charmed creature regards you as a friendly acquaintance. When the spell ends, the creature knows it was charmed by you.
Okay, alright. So she failed her saving throw with the 6. So she now believes you to be a friendly acquaintance.
Fluff kind of just sort of like gives her a nudge, and she's just like, "Come on."
She
I can keep a secret.
She says, okay, I have not been completely straight with you. She says, my name is not Halda. My name is Minitha. I was not here to visit family. I am here because I am planning to explore the mountains to the north here, looking for any treasure I could find. But unfortunately, I have already been attacked a couple of times by bandits, and just was here in town, not even outside of town. You know? But,
I'm sorry to hear that. Who's attacked you?
Oh, I did not get their names, but I have had a few things taken from me, and obviously everybody stares at me because of my heritage, and well, it is not something I would like to be repeated. So,
That's something we share in common as two people who don't fit in. That's what we've always come to understand about each other, and that's why we're such good friends.
Yes, I am very glad to have met you, Fluff.
So, did you have an item that they took from you?
No, I have not got anything of value here, no. I did not have anything worth stealing either, certainly not a magic item that would... What was it you said?
Destroy the town.
No, I do not have anything. I do not have anything that would destroy this building, never mind the whole town.
Now, come on, friend. You lying to me.
Do I get the sense that she's on the level, or like?
Give me a insight check with advantage now.
Cool. Sorry, did not intend to, but me going hoo-hoo as a victory sound playing Fluff. The irony is not lost.
Oh yes, that one went over my head a little, but yes, you're right.
2022.
Hoo-hoo, indeed. Yeah, she's fessed up to everything as far as you're concerned.
So that her real name's Minitha.
Mm-hmm.
She was here hunting for treasures. She had nothing to steal from these bandits, and that she's just kind of keeping her head down.
Yes.
Fluff's just like,
Well, if I come across any bandits, I'll make sure to look out for any things they might have taken from you. I'm really sorry that you've been treated that way. That's really horrible.
Thank you. I very much hope that you are able to find your family.
Thank you. And if you do have family, whether they're in town or not, I hope that you spend some quality time with them. And family isn't always people who are related to you by blood. Sometimes it's the chosen family that we have for ourselves.
Yes. Have you any chosen family?
Yep.
thinks better. He lifts his arm to point and then just kind of,
in town. I'm seeing them later.
Oh, well, I hope that you have an excellent time with them.
Thank you. In about 55 minutes. Don't think too badly of me. So long.
hops down from the stool and goes wandering back up to his friends and just sort of relays all the information that he got and just says,
see, there are still some ruffians in this town, and those guards really aren't pulling their weight, are they?
That's true. So we can rule her out. I guess I'll go talk to the other half-elf. And I'll go to the half-elf man. What does he look
Okay.
like?
He's seemingly playing with his food with a very grumpy expression on his face. And you actually can see him jotting down notes into a small book on the table.
Ooh. What kind of notes can I see?
Not without really getting quite up close
Okay.
and kind of over his shoulder kind of thing.
Mm-hmm. What kind of garb are we talking?
He seems to be quite well dressed with half-moon spectacles on the end of his nose.
Okay, so Taileth's gonna walk over to him and go, mind if I take a seat?
He kind of, his like head like swings round to you like very quickly. He says, "I beg your pardon, excuse me, what can I do for you?"
I was wondering if I could take a seat.
Why would you want to sit with me exactly?
Because it's an available seat and, you know, we're both half-elves.
He kind of blinks at you, and without
She
with
smiles.
a kind of annoyed look on his face, he kind of just gestures to the seat opposite him.
Ah, thank you. She sits.
And he says to you, "Have you eaten here before?"
Yes. The
He says,
tea
"And
and
have
biscuit.
you ever had such a terrible meal?"
I've had far worse.
I'd hate
Are
to,
you,
hate to know where you
the
frequent. My name is Shyla. I'm a local food critic. Pleasure to meet you.
Oh,
Extend
pleasure
hand.
to meet you.
Is his last name Buff? Sorry.
Yeah, I know. Shyla.
No.
I'm guessing you're not from Phlan.
He says, "I beg your pardon."
Oh, I'm sorry. I'm just such a we rarely see such sophisticated folks around here.
Well, you obviously don't frequent the same places around town that I do, then. As I mentioned, local food critic.
Ah,
So, this meal, it is to your liking?
it's nice to get a hearty meal. You know.
Very well. You just kind of see him make a note with his pen.
So, since you know the best places to go, where would you recommend?
Well, not here, certainly. They put far too much safflower oil in this. Could I get a nature check from you, please?
Nature check. Okay. That is 16.
16. So the safflower oil kind of grabs your attention a little bit because you certainly are aware that safflowers are flowers that grow locally and only within the Quivering Forest.
Okay. Does that mean anything to me?
What, that it grows only in the Quivering Forest?
Is it something like it's an expensive ingredient or?
It's a rare ingredient beyond Phlan, but not here. It's quite a fairly common ingredient here. But he's kind of, you can almost see the steam coming out of his ears.
Yeah.
He says, "Yes, it's far too pungent to be using in such extreme quantities. Don't you agree?"
Yes, totally.
No, you see? And he kind of scribbles down again and mumbles under his breath. He says, "Peasant agrees too much."
I'm Taileth. Pleased to meet you. Shyla.
Yes, pleasure. Right, so was it me you wanted to speak to?
Yes.
I see. What can I do for you here? Are you looking for better places to frequent?
I'd love to hear your thoughts on better places to frequent.
He says, well, of course, Dianthal's Steakhouse, I would highly recommend, of course, if you are of the, well, if that is the sort of place that you like to frequent. He says, although it is, and he kind of pushes his spectacles up his nose, he says, it is a little bit on the expensive side, of course.
Well, maybe sometime someone will take me there.
Perhaps. And he kind of looks at his meal again. He says, although I do wonder if a soup kitchen would be better to visit than here.
Anything else?
Well, if you prefer desserts, then
Oh, I love sweet things.
Vanera's cake shop is very nice. A little less artisan than some of the places I would normally frequent, but very like your mother's baking, if you take my meaning.
I have to take your word for it.
And it is a very good word to take, you know. I am a prolific food critic.
Oh, I can tell your knowledge is astounding.
Indeed, I have the ability, with a simple review, to shut a place down.
Oh, do you do that often?
Only in the most dire of circumstances.
And do you think this place might be risk of being shut down?
If they continue to be so liberal with that safflower oil, then perhaps I might be doing a public service, don't you think?
Can I take a can I lean in and try to take a sneaky peek of this, like, notes he's writing down?
Yeah, much of it has been very negative on the tea kettle. A real obsession with this overuse of safflower oil. Basically writing down, almost like brainstorming, as many different metaphors he could use for how overpowering the safflower flavour is. Seems to have written a comment as you heard him mumble that the peasant seems to have agreed with him, but also, quote, curiously, the peasants seem to like it here, unquote.
Charming. Okay. Oh, I believe. Do I believe he is a food critic, or do I think he's
insight
putting
check?
on an act? Yes. 13.
13. You have no reason to not believe him to be a food critic.
Okay. I feel like I've reached a dead end. Well, it was an absolute pleasure to meet you. I'm going to see if they have some desserts. You know, maybe they'll be better. And, you know, maybe you should consider giving them a second chance. You know? Maybe I'll find the chef and give him that tip about the
He
safflower oil.
dismisses you away and says, no need. The damage is done. Have a good
Charming.
evening.
You as well. And she leaves.
I'd have decked him.
Okay.
Okay, so he's a snob, but I think he's harmless.
Okay.
Who's left? There's two older women.
There's two old ladies. There's the three brightly dressed halflings, an old human man, and a dwarven woman. And yes, I believe that's it.
So 4.
3
I would
groups.
have. So Fellin would have had a couple more ales. And now just sort of getting over that first was like, I didn't even tell her my name. I didn't introduce myself. You stupid, right? Come on then, now, right? You can do this, right? And he starts walking back over to the wood elf
Okay.
lady, and then loses his nerve at the last minute and just turns and sits down. Like as she looks in his direction, he just turns and sits down at whatever the closest table is.
All right. Okay. So you sit down with the old human man and the dwarven woman that are dining together. They were talking quite emphatically until the moment that you sat down next to them. Neither of them looks particularly like an adventurer, but they're both certainly dressed in fine clothes. And the the human man, rather, says to you, "Excuse me, it's a private meeting."
I'm not interested. Don't you worry. I'm just sorry. I've
The
don't mind
dwarf
me.
woman
I've just,
says, "Very well, be on your way."
no, I just need to sit here for a moment, please.
I'd rather you didn't, actually.
Oh, sorry. Am I interrupting something?
The man says, "Yes, you are. As I say, private conversation. Move along."
Can we see
Oh,
this
don't flag.
happening? Can we hear it?
Yeah, I'd say so.
Mm-hmm.
I sit a bit higher up in my seat and sort of fill out a little bit and say, "Don't you flatter yourself. I'm not interested in your little conversation. I'm sorry. I just needed somewhere to sit down. I thought he was going to faint. You're not here for the Evenfeast, then?"
And the dwarf woman kind of looks at you, and she says, "Oh yes, we're here for the Evenfeast, but we'd like to have a nice, quiet, private conversation if you wouldn't mind. You've obviously not passed out. You're clearly fine, so please, if you wouldn't mind, going to find another seat."
Oh, see, that was a much more polite. You see, I turn to the old human male, say, "You see, you just been a bit more polite like that. It's fine. I just needed somewhere to sit down." What does he seem? Because he seems quiet.
Do you want to give me a insight check, please?
Yes, that is a 15.
All right. You get the impression the longer this kind of interaction goes on, the more uncomfortable this human man seems to be. It's quite clear to you that he really quite is. His desire really is to be as unnoticeable as possible.
I say quite like, "Are you okay? You seem a bit peaky.
He says, "Yes, I'm fine, thank you."
You want to have some of that? You want to have some of those roast meats? That'll sort you right out."
Yes, I was going to order some. Yes.
Are you in? I lean into him and I say, "Are you in trouble? Do you need some help?"
He says, No, not in trouble. Why?
Wayne,
Well,
looking over.
you just seem a bit nervous, is all. I didn't mean to make you nervous. I know.
Go on, Fluff.
Oh, sorry. I think there was a bit of a delay. I didn't mean to interrupt. Do they have anything on the table, like kind of papers or anything like that?
Do you want to give me a perception check?
Please. Perception check is a 14.
Not really any papers or anything. The only thing really that they seem to have is that the older human seems to be carrying a pack of some kind, like a bag.
What kind of size?
Probably like a small satchel.
Has he got it like across himself?
Yes.
He'll keep an eye on that and just kind of nudge Taileth and kind of be like, "He's got a bag."
Oh, hey. I wave over to Blazat. I say, "Can we get some meats over here? He needs some food." It's all right. I knows the folks here, you see.
And Blazette comes over. She says, "Oh yeah, what do you want?" And the man instantly is like, "Please, I am trying to have a private conversation. Can we not invite all and sundry here, please?"
Tayleth's gonna, like, casually, she's got a drink in her hand, walk past this table, like
Okay.
she's just wandering around.
Mm-hmm. Okay.
Now that this bag has been mentioned.
Okay. All right.
You'll have some chicken, and we're going to have the pork. Pork's really good. What else? Now, I don't know how you feel about rat. My friend loves it, but then I don't know whether
Rat?
that's like a particular.
Do you
thing
say
of
rat?
his. Well, I don't know. I haven't tried it myself. Well, no, it's I think it's bespoke
No,
for
I'm
him.
not-
But have
no.
you got any more in the back?
No, I'm not. No, I do not want rat.
No, hold the rat.
While that's happening, can I have a sneaky peek in the bag now that he's distracted?
I'll need a sleight of hand check from you,
Yeah.
please.
Surely at an advantage, seeing as there's a lot of commotion.
She's fishing.
If there isn't already, I would like to cast Gust. I can create a harmless sensory effect.
Okay.
It says such as like window shutters slamming. Is there like a hinged thing on the bar?
Sure.
Because I'd just
Yeah.
like to use Gust to make that kind of
slam.
and like just make a
To create a
slam and make a
distraction.
loud noise.
All right. Yeah. Can I have a sleight of hand check with advantage then, please?
Fluff kind of coughs and goes, Gust.
13. Maybe I can charm my way out of it.
As you bear in mind, this bag is kind of like across him, right? As you try
I
and
was just gonna like.
I mean, of course, but
Yeah,
it's still
Yeah,
on
yeah.
his person, right?
I have a plan. Don't worry. I have a plan.
So as you try and kind of like not quite fully reach in, but kind of just like move the
Yeah.
top flap kind of out the way, kind of thing, just to kind of peep in. This human suddenly moves very quickly, just like
Okay.
whisking the bag almost like out of your hand, and it
Yeah.
just smashes against one of the table legs. You hear a loud crack, like the sound of glass just shattering, echoing across the room. And then this human just completely screams as his body is just suddenly surrounded by crackling blue energy. He falls to the floor with a dagger-like object clutched in his hand. And the dwarf, who is also at the table, suddenly pushes back her chair and begins running for the door.
Oh, I
Catch the.
All right, let's do this one at a time
I look
quickly. Fellin, what are you going to do? And then we'll go one at a time and then we'll play it out.
I look at Toril, I wink furiously,
Taileth.
and then I'm gonna run after the. Sorry, I'm gonna run after the dwarf that's made for the door.
Okay, so you're running after the dwarf. Taileth, what are you doing?
Mage hand, close the door.
Nice. Fluff, what are you doing?
I'm currently flying towards them, and I want to position myself above them.
Okay, all right. To do anything in particular?
Maybe, but not yet.
All right, okay. All right, so we'll do the mage hand first, although give me an arcana check just to see how quick you are off the mark.
Yep.
You can do that as a dexterity check with arcana proficiency if you like, as we're kind of doing it at speed of casting.
17.
17, nice. So you summon forth this mage hand. Remind me what your mage hand looks like?
It's a very creepy grey hand with long,
That's it.
sharp fingers.
Nice, yes. It just kind of
Spindly hand.
slams this door shut just as she's about to reach for it. And then almost immediately, Fellin comes bulldozing in. So, Fellin, can I get a strength check from you, please?
Is that lovely? Is that strength or straight strength, or is that athletics?
You can do athletics if you like.
Lovely. I think it's slightly better with athletics. Hang on, just getting up to the bonus. Okay, it's a 19.
A 19, all right. You just like bulldoze in and just grapple her to the ground, and she's like, "Get off me! Get off me!" And she's kind of like trying to.
You trying to skip out on your tab?
Fluff, what are you doing at this point?
He sees that Fellin kind of has things under control. Looking at the old guy on the floor, writhing in pain, holding a dagger.
Yeah.
What's he doing?
At the moment, very little. It's very obvious that this man is just, for want of a better phrase, just inundated with what looks to be lightning, just kind of circling around his body. Could I get actually a nature check from you, please?
Nature. I'm good at that, but apparently not at the moment because that's an 8.
Okay. Yeah, this phenomenon is alien to you.
Phenomenon.
All right. Yeah. So it's just kind of like going all around his body at the moment. Anything you'd like to do?
Seeing that Fellin's probably okay with holding on to this person, I kind of circle back round and sort of land on the table in front of this guy and says, "Do you have things that you shouldn't in your bag?"
What? This is to the old man.
Yep.
He's just practically unconscious at this point. Just this lightning just dancing around his body.
I jab him with a fork and just like.
You take 3 points of lightning damage as
Shit.
it zaps you.
So don't touch the dagger.
No touchy. No touchy.
I'm just like, ow, ow. Ow.
A few of your feathers are kind of stood on end.
Yeah. One's like sizzled. Ow. I'm like, who do you work for?
You get, of course, no response at this point. However, just as you ask that question, the lightning actually jumps almost from this man over to the food critic, who suddenly then is also like surrounded by this lightning as he's just kind of on the spot at his table before he collapses to the ground, kind of smouldering, so to speak. And yes, still also.
Is there still lightning around the bag or the first guy?
No, it doesn't appear so.
I open the
But
bag
it's
and see
almost
what's inside.
as though this... In fact, give me a perception check.
Better. 21.
21. Yeah, it's very quick, because of course it's lightning, right? So blink and you miss it. But it's almost as though this dagger is kind of the conduit through which it's jumping. So it's kind of like jumping back to the dagger and then to the food critic. Taileth, what would you like to do at this point?
Okay. Fellin has the... I'm going to rush over to Fellin.
Mm-hmm.
Do I have any rope? Please tell me I've got rope. Why do I not have rope? God damn it. I've got a stake.
Who doesn't have rope?
I have manacles. I'm going to rush over and get manacles out my back.
I mean, that's even better.
Yeah. To help tie up this dwarf lady.
Okay, so you're going to tie up this dwarf lady. Okay, I won't get you to roll anything for that, because she's already essentially grappled at this point. Fellin, what are you doing?
I look at the down manacled dwarf woman. I shove a big meaty finger in her face and I say, "What's going on here then? You tell me right now."
She says, I don't really know. I don't know what's going on.
Why is he full of lightning?
I don't know.
What's in that bag?
She
What's in that bag?
She says, a tooth. That's all I know. Honestly, it's just a tooth. She says, apparently from a blue dragon, but honestly, that's all I know.
Dragon. I shout over to Fluffer, be careful with that thing.
Gotcha. He's picked up 2 spoons and then thinks better of it. Fluff is wondering what to do because it's held. Like, is this person unconscious?
Yes, unconscious, but from you can tell still breathing. But yes, certainly
Sure.
unconscious.
Not dead. Not deaded. Cool. Difficult to know what to do. He will look around for things that are made of wood. He's going to get a stool, and he's going to kind of like just sort of use the leg of the stool to just kind of like press it into this guy's like hand to like release it from his hand. Just kind of like, he's just sort of like jamming it into this guy's hand to sort of open it. He's like, sorry.
And it does kind of like drop to the ground out of his hand.
Does the lightning stop?
No, the lightning doesn't appear to have stopped.
Oh, shite. Fluff's gonna like try and hit the dagger with the stool to try and like embed the dagger into the stool.
Okay.
And then if he can do that, he wants to pick up the stool and go, "Coming through!" and run out of the tavern.
Right. Okay. So yeah. So you managed to get the dagger embedded onto the stool. Could I get a nature check from you, please?
That's much better. That is a 21.
Okay, this dagger, it appears, is actually the blue dragon tooth that was being referred to. Just to confirm that for you. So you've got this dragon's tooth kind of in the bottom of the stall as you're kind of like going through, and you're headed to the outside, I believe, right? Which is where the door that Taileth had just closed is. But as you're kind of running through, this lightning jumps again. As you're moving through, you're kind of passing by the Wood Elf's table. and it jumps from the Critic back to the tooth, and then back to, or rather over to the Wood Elf woman.
Oh no!
Again, similar sort of effect as she begins to have this lightning just kind of whirling around her body, almost making her very stiff for a moment before she collapses to the ground.
Shit. Huh.
Taileth.
I keep running.
Oh,
What'd you like?
what do we need to do? I will run after Fluff. See if I can help.
Okay. Anything in particular you want to do?
She'd run over and be like, "How do I help? What do I do?"
Open the door!
Oh, no. Okay, yeah. Let go. With Mage Hand. Or, yeah.
All right, cool. So you kind of use Mage Hand to open the door for Fluff.
Yeah.
Fellin, what are you doing?
Seeing it's jumped to this woman and the dwarf is secured with manacles. So you're like, oh no, I'll come out you! And he goes barging over the three people to the elf and sort of, I'd be like, is you all right? Is you all right?
She's not giving much response, as again this kind of lightning is just.
She never did.
Well, indeed, but she's not even nodding anymore. Yeah, it's just kind of going around her body at this point.
I'd pick her up and sort of like make space, make whatever, like clear a table to place her up.
You take 3 points of lightning damage.
Aha.
Make space.
Good one.
Fluff, what are you doing?
I'm running outside to try and get away from people.
Okay.
I'd like to find just a muddy sort of, I don't know, like the street or like the back of a house, like just sort of a muddy patch of dirt, just if there is one. He just wants to like turn the thing upside down and kind of like just embed it into the ground and then like stand like 20 foot back from it.
All right, cool. So you take it outside and you try and put it down somewhere kind of somewhat secluded. And just as you place it down, this lightning then streaks almost out of the door of the tea kettle back to the dagger, and then you see it kind of fly kind of straight past your face towards a small dwarven girl that seems to be walking by.
No!
Who is wearing a necklace of flowers. Could I get a nature check from you, please, with advantage?
Oh, 16.
16. Those flowers are safflowers that are around.
Get the bloody. If I have any chance, it's moving at the speed of light, so I probably don't know, and it's carried anyway. So I watch as lightning just kills a small dwarven girl. Hopefully, it doesn't kill her. Though.
Well, no, it doesn't kill her, but it does knock her unconscious.
Okay, right. I go over and sort of use the stool to like get the stuff. I just run back in and I'm like, what are they called? Sorry,
Safflowers.
Safflowers. It's the safflowers. It's the flowers. The flowers are conducting electricity. The oil in the bow. The everything. It's the safflowers.
Can I get a perception check as well from you, Fluff?
Yeah. Am I wearing safflowers? Dirty 20.
Dirty 20, lovely. Just outside the tea kettle, you can see that there is like a stall which has a good supply of safflowers.
I just from where I just cast Gust and I just like blast them like away and up the road. Just like, stay away from the flowers.
All right, okay. All right. Taileth, what are you doing then at this point?
It's the flowers. God. I don't know what to do! So we've opened the door. I'm gonna run outside to see what Fluff is doing. If I can help.
Okay. Sure, do you want to give me then, let's call it an insight check.
Yes. Ooh. That is a 18.
Alright. So, obviously, what's become quite clear is that this is all linked to both this tooth and the safflowers, of course. It seems as though the lightning from this tooth seems to be targeting anybody who has
Anyone.
had any links to these safflowers, and so by association, the quivering forest. What would you say your result was? 18.
18.
Your suspicion is that if you are able to gather up safflowers and this dagger, that you might be able to keep the lightning contained.
Okay, I'm gonna rush to the stall and like grab as many of the safflowers as I can.
Just
Okay.
put them everywhere.
We need
Perfect.
the flowers.
Like crystal. It's like
Crystal
like the end of
Maze.
Crystal Maze.
Yes, we need the flowers. She's gonna scream.
Fellin, what are you doing?
Yeah, I would run out and try and help and just grab as many bits of flowers as possible, and just be like, be careful, get as many as you can.
All right.
No elegance, no grace, no
Can I get-
dignity with this group.
Can I get Fellin? I know this probably won't be your strongest point, but can I get a dexterity check from you, please? See how good you are. Whether you're going to get any
It's
gold
lovely.
or silver.
Yeah, no, it's a 4.
You're flailing about a lot, but not really getting anything.
Like a cat trying to catch a fly. Just...
Yeah. Fluff.
Hello. What's the state of affairs currently?
At the moment, you need the dagger and the flowers. Is the current.
I swoop back for the dagger and pull it out of the stool and just kind of go to fly towards the rest of it and sort of.
Any sort of
Just hold
action
it
you
out.
want to take? Because obviously, just pulling the thing out is probably going to be fairly free action for you.
I would like to cast guidance on Taileth. Just literally kind of like zoom past and sort of like give her a little prod with the star map crystal and just like do something.
Stressed Fluff.
Yeah.
All right. And as you shortly after you've cast that and yelled that to Taileth, the dagger again. The lightning comes from the girl. As you take. Whoops. Oh, would help if I didn't chuck a D4 down the side of my desk. You
Nice
take
and good.
4 points of lightning damage.
Why didn't I keep it in the
As
store?
it kind of uses you as a conduit and then fires off towards the woman whose stall had all the flowers that you so unceremoniously just blew across the street. Taileth, what would you like to do?
How many flowers have I managed to grab?
Do you want to give me a dexterity check?
Yes. Ooh. 19.
Very nice. 19 will give you... Whoops. My dice are going all over the shop today. We'll give you 8 flowers that you've managed to just kind of like grab out of the air. You've just seen Fluff, who's kind of just been zapped by the dagger briefly as it flies over to the woman on the stall.
So is Fluff flying at the moment? Is he?
Yes,
Can I reach him?
I presume you're flying quite low, Fluff.
Say again, sorry.
I presume you're flying quite low.
Could I
Yeah.
reach you?
Yeah.
Yeah. So yeah, you could reach him.
I'm gonna like rush over with the flowers in my hand and be like, put this on that.
All right. Cool. Fellin, anything you'd like to do?
Having failed spectacularly to gain any flowers, he's going to see the little dwarven girl and run over to her and just sort of check that she's okay and try and shield her from any further damage. It just says, "I doesn't know what to do."
She has flowers round her neck. Grab them.
Ah! He grabs the flowers.
Just leaves
flowers
the poor
off.
girl.
And he just yanks them straight off. And he's like, yeah, and he'll throw them to. He'll throw them out. He'll ball them, throw them over to the others.
And there's just a showering of safflowers that come your way. Fluff, I believe you now have the flowers and the dagger. Anything in particular you'd like to do?
He just No, I just kind of like line up the flowers and just sort of like stab it into the mud and walk away.
Nice. And you watch as all of this lightning just kind of comes straight back into the dagger. Kind of, there's a big flash, and then everything kind of settles down. There is a kind of sense of relief as you see a number of people that had otherwise been unconscious suddenly not quite get up, but they kind of certainly start moving a little bit. They're very injured, kind of startled, kind of confused, but seem to be at least somewhat okay-ish. What would anybody like to do?
Did it work?
I don't know what was meant to work, but I think something happened.
Taileth's going to creep closer to the dagger.
Okay.
Mm-hmm.
And anything you want to do when you get there?
Poke it with mage hand.
You use your mage hand to give the dagger a poke, and nothing seems to happen.
I think as long as it's touching flowers, it's not going to zap anyone.
These flowers.
Oh, go ahead.
Oh, sorry, dude. These flowers are from the place where Fluff's from, isn't he?
Yes.
The woods. Would
Yes.
he know any more information about them, or kind of like if he knows anything about why they conduct electricity?
Sure. Yeah, do you want to give me a... Actually, what was your nature check before when I asked you to identify them?
Oh, dirty 20.
Dice 20. Yeah, you don't know them to be conductive flowers. It's an unusual phenomenon to you.
Can we see the guy who gave us the mission anywhere?
Yes, he is definitely around. He's just kind of like watching, just like startled from the bar.
Yeah,
It's all
think
happened
we
very
found it.
We wink at him.
He kind of like turns away and just kind of like.
It's not. It's not clear whether Fellin is winking or just twitching from the electricity. But it's like, you never told us it was like that. And I look over. Is the wood elf, is she conscious now, or is she
Semi-conscious, I think is probably the right phrase.
Yeah, I walk on, stepping over the food critic to where I'm walking over to her. It's like, is hello, is yours okay? Wakey.
She looks up at you and kind of looks perplexed, and she just nods calmly, quietly, and a little bit startled.
He sort of half smiles and sort of goes, Fellin, and just runs away.
Cute.
Good job, Fellin.
Could be sick.
Taylor's gonna go over to the guy who gave us the mission and like poke him on the shoulder and go, "Hey man."
He says, "Oh yeah, you did a pretty good job there. Gotta say, I'm kind of glad I didn't get caught up in that." Yeah, listen, hang on a minute. And he kind of pulls out a kind of coin purse, and he says, "Here's a bag of coin."
Thank you.
Says 100 gold in there for you. He says, "What you were thinking of doing with that tooth?"
Well, it should never not be wrapped in flowers.
Right, yeah.
What are you going to do with it?
Well, I was going to go and make sure that it's kept a close eye on, of course. Be willing to trade you for it, just to make sure that it is kept safe and don't fall into the wrong hands. And he kind of pulls out a small vial of red liquid. And he kind of...
Ah. Is it a healing potion?
It is, yes.
Okay.
Well, this is quite a shocking tooth.
That's right, yeah.
Quite a shocking discovery. Quite a
Oh, whoa. Oh, yeah.
quite an electric sort of find. I suppose thinking about it, I suppose like a bolt from the blue, your charge that you've given us is a worthy charge, 100 gold pieces. You know, it having conducted our services, it's fair payment. However, we wouldn't necessarily part with the tooth for just that, as the tooth itself, if properly harnessed, could be very useful to us. Has no idea what he's saying. It's just kind of like, could the tooth be useful to us? Is there any way to like harness it?
Do you want to give me a... It's going to be very high for you to try and determine anything like this. Because really this is something that should take an hour to determine. Because it is quite obviously some sort of magical item. But if you can roll really high on a nature check, I might reveal something. But we are looking basically 20 plus.
Oof. Well, can I help? Can I help try
You
and
certainly
with
can.
the nature check?
You certainly can.
Do you have quite a good nature? 19.
No, unfortunately, not going to be enough for you to know anything about its particular properties or whether it could be harnessed, I'm afraid.
That's all right.
But do you want to give me a persuasion check for your line of questioning?
Sure.
To this guy.
15.
15. He says, he lets out a big sigh. He says, 100 gold and a potion of healing is not bloody enough. Right, about 2 potions of healing.
You, sir, have a deal.
Pleasure doing business with you.
Yeah. Oh,
It,
he says, I've been hearing a few things, by the way. Kind of led me down this route here, and my colleagues. Just keep an eye out, if you will, for the local guilds here. I mean, the city's kind of in a little bit of turmoil. Don't know how much I know, but it's political upheaval and all that. And the guilds here have kind of been taking advantage of that, you know. So just keep an eye out. Watch for their comings and goings in the next few weeks, because, well, you never know who might be watching what you're doing. And as I say, they're getting a lot more influence these days, and you don't want to be caught on the receiving end of, well, whatever political games they're playing. All right.
There's been an awful lot of dragon-related things currently, haven't there?
Have they? That's something you've seen?
Yeah. Dragon person, room full of gas, dragon-headed people.
Oh.
My friend over there points at the Dragonborn lady. She just told me that they were up the mountain looking for treasure. Waves at them.
She waves back, still believing you to be her friend at this point.
We are, as far as Fluff's concerned. We're actually friends. Like, he might have charmed her to begin with, but like they've had a really lovely conversation about, you know, being outcasts and sharing information. So
And
Fluff's blissful ignorant.
Burrell says to you, he says, yeah, thank you for that. That was very enlightening. And he gives you a wink, Fluff.
Yeah.
He says, right, well, I'll take this. And he kind of waves the dagger in front of your face, which is wrapped in these flowers. And he says, right, well, thank you for that. And I'll take this, make sure it don't fall into the wrong hands. And thank you for your service today. The Emerald Enclave will be very pleased.
Pleasure. Thanks.
boy.
Right, see ya. And he turns on his heel and heads for the door, as suddenly then the tea kettle then just erupts back into mealtime, as everybody kind of goes back to their meals. Aside from obviously the injured folk who are kind of like being carried out, the food critic kind of with his glasses squiff, just kind of being carried out, and you hear a kind of semi-conscious mumble of him going, I am never coming here again.
I would like to. I'd like to intercept the food critic
Right.
on his way out,
Yeah.
and I just say, if I hear a bad word from you about Madame Fiona's tea kettle, I'll find you.
Do you want to give me an intimidation check, please, with advantage because he's really not in a good way right now.
Lovely. Oh, I'm glad you've got advantage. So that will be a dirty 20.
He kind of looks at you. He suddenly becomes more conscious as he goes wide-eyed. Again, his glasses still kind of squiff, and he goes, "Oh yes, no, excellent establishment, 5 stars. Would recommend."
Exactly, especially the safflower oil.
Yes, very nice safflower oil, very good. He's kind of carried outside.
Goodbye, pencil neck man.
I turn to the others after he's gone and was like, nobody threatens my tea in Bickies.
I agree, he was a right snob. Right, I'm hungry. I'm gonna finish that turkey.
Oh, yeah.
Really go for another rat.
And
You know,
all...
Now that you mention it, you really can taste. You really can taste the safflower.
As you all settle down for your meals, or back to your meals, to enjoy the rest of this Evenfeast.
Hey there, Questers. I just wanted to take a quick moment to express our huge appreciation for all of our amazing Patreon and YouTube members. Your support means the world to us and helps keep this channel going strong. So I wanted to give a special shout out to each and every one of you. You are Woodstrapper, Simon Jelly, Martin C, Gallus, Gary Lloyd, James Hamilton, J.R. Bellaston, Robert Treadwell, Jason Udall, Jason Bradwell, Nigel Raggett, and Rebecca Hill. Your support truly makes a huge difference, and we appreciate you more than we can express. And to those who haven't joined yet, I invite you to consider becoming a patron or YouTube member. And not only will you unlock fantastic benefits, including early access to videos and exclusive behind the scenes content, as well as access to our Discord channel, but you'll also be directly contributing to the growth and success of this channel. So thank you once again, all of you, for your incredible support, and together we're bringing these fantastic adventures to life. So thank you.
The hour expires. Minitha just kind of looks up from the plate and just goes, "Wait a minute."